So finding the right job, as you said, can be really challenging right now, but I believe that it's worth the effort. You can find the right job by trying a lot of things. I don't really believe that you can sit and work really hard in your head to figure out what you want. You have to get out there. So taking different kinds of classes if you're still a student, trying internships, part-time jobs, volunteer activities, anything you can do to try out the kinds of careers and jobs that you're interested in can be really valuable. And once you've determined one or several things that you're interested in doing, then you have to take the time to really look widely for a position. So use all the social media resources available to you, like LinkedIn, Twitter, even Facebook, Craigslist. They all have job postings that can be valuable. Talk to all of your friends, family, classmates, anyone you meet. Talk to them about your job hunt. Let them know what you're looking for so that they can be out there trying to introduce you to opportunities as well. So it takes a lot of action, particularly in this economy, to really find a job that's going to make you happy. So there are no guarantees that anything will absolutely lead to your dream path. I believe that trial and error is the best thing that you can do. So what will lead you to your dream path is trying something, seeing if you like it, and then tweaking your path and saying, I didn't love that, so I'm going to try this. Or I really like this, I'm going to stick with it. So I think the more action you take, you can't plan that path step by step. It's more of a connect the dots kind of process to try one thing and then see where that leads on your path. So I think what millennials want out of their job is learning and development to keep growing. I think that they are really savvy about the fact that the economy has changed and you have to be in control of your career. And you know, I spend a lot of time talking about how millennials can get jobs, but I'm working on a project with the Hartford on how they can take control of their futures once they have the jobs. And I think that's really equally important, and something millennials don't think as much about is once I land the position, what are the benefits that are going to protect me into the future with my job? Life insurance, disability insurance. We found that most millennials don't understand these sorts of things. And really, as a young worker, your ability to work is your greatest asset. So something like disability insurance, which protects your income if you get injured, if you have an accident, if you become pregnant, is important. We found that 90% of millennials overestimated the cost of disability insurance. It's about $250 a year. I know, it was really surprising to me. $250 a year can protect you. So as you mentioned, the dream career path is so enticing to millennials. You can protect that really easily once you have a job. And I think that's really important to mention, that it's not about making the decisions, but protecting your future once you land those jobs along the way. Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is a huge trend, I think, because of the economy, because of the millennial mindset of wanting to control their futures. So I think it's fantastic. I think we're going to see a lot of people who have employers and then go off on their own and then perhaps work at a company. So entrepreneurship is a great path. It does mean, though, to your point, that you have to be a little bit savvier about planning for your financial future. You might not get the kinds of benefits that somebody gets with an employer. So you have to think about budgeting. You have to think about your insurance options and how you can protect yourself in the same way that somebody with an employer can. There are lots of available resources. We have a whole website at thehartford.com/tomorrow to talk to different people in a wide variety of situations about how to think about their finances and insurance and their career paths based on whatever they choose. So making the most of your paycheck is about thinking about your lifestyle today and setting your goals for the future. So look at what you have, what you actually get at the end of the month from your paycheck, and think about a really simple budget. Nothing too complicated. I love the software at mint.com, which shows you where you're spending your money. Think about ways to save, like making sure that your credit cards don't charge you an annual fee, finding out if you can negotiate your cable bill, maybe share rent with a couple of roommates, anything you can do to minimize the outlay of money that you're spending. But again, protection is something that you really have to think about when it comes to your paycheck. Life insurance, disability insurance, as I mentioned, is only about $250 a year. If anything were to happen to you, how would you make ends meet? And what a lot of millennials told us is they would dip into their savings or maybe their 401k or ask their parents for money or even use credit cards if something happened to their ability to work. So protecting your paycheck is about thinking about what you need today and how you're spending your money, and certainly having a little bit of fun. That's absolutely something millennials, are not going to take out of their budget, but really planning for the future and protecting your ability to work into the rest of your career. Absolutely. I think millennials see, particularly with their knowledge of technology, that you don't necessarily have to be at a desk in an office from 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work. So they want to take advantage of the technology available to them. Something that I've heard people say is that millennials want what we all want. Everybody wants the ability to work from home or have flexible hours or take care of personal things that they want to do. But what I've seen is that millennials are more willing to ask for it. They'll ask a boss if they can have a flexible schedule, if they can work flexible hours. So I think the whole workforce is changing in that direction. I think people are just surprised to see younger people at the beginning of their careers asking for these same benefits that you used to have to negotiate over time. And that's something to think about in the benefits conversation as well. It's not just about issues like health insurance or life insurance or disability insurance. It's also things like being able to work from home or work remotely or have flexible hours. That counts as compensation as well. So when you're negotiating salary, think about those issues that are important to you. If those have value, you can consider that part of your compensation as well. But it's certainly a huge trend, and I think we're going to see it grow in the future. I think millennials overall don't want work to be this sort of dreary, boring 9 to 5 place. I think they want every element of their lives to be excellent. And I think they have very high expectations for that. So they want the work culture to feel like something that's personally appealing to them. They're really interested in things like sustainability and environmental policies with the companies they work for, the ability to give back and do community service projects. The Hartford, who I'm working with, is really well known for their efforts in that area, which I'm really proud to be part of. So when it comes to millennials and these kinds of companies, I think companies need to think about the fact that employees, particularly as the economy gets better, are not just going to judge the actual work of their position. They're going to judge the entire environment of being part of that company. What sort of reputation does that company have, and will they be proud to represent that? I think you're seeing it a lot with Silicon Valley companies in particular that make it fun to go to work, or they have free lunches. I think we're going to see this in a lot of different companies, again, particularly as the economy changes, because young people like all of us really want their lives to be fulfilling and happy, and work doesn't have to be separate from what they want in their personal lives. Last tips for setting up a strong financial future. I think it's really important to think about your particular situation today and into the future. So don't use your friend's budget. Don't necessarily do what your parents have told you is the exact way to live your finances. Really sit down and think about, what do I want today? What are my short-term goals to live today in the city that I want to live in, to have the lifestyle I want? And what do I want in the future? Am I thinking about a family? Am I thinking about buying an apartment? Do I want to take a year off and travel around the world? And actually do the numbers on what that would cost you, and set up a savings account that's automatic so that money starts filtering in. Make sure that anytime you get a check from your grandma on your birthday, or a little bonus or something extra, that it goes into that account to save for something you really want. It takes time, but setting up your financial future is really important. And again, think about protecting what you're creating today. So many young people don't understand the kinds of insurance that are available. Please check out our website, thehartford.com/tomorrow, to really understand these issues, so that all this hard work you're putting in now as a young person will pay off later, and all those dreams that you're building now will actually come true for you.